an awesome example of serving and just lighting the world. Every Christmas, she's done this for a while. And so I just wanted her to come and share what inspires her, what motivates her, all of that stuff. So if some of you are not familiar with Light the World, it started in 2016. And it's just an invitation for people to every day or find a way to do a kind act to another person to help light the world, to touch hearts and change lives by showing kindness. And every year they've kind of had a different theme, or this year you can text a number. What's that number? Text LIGHT to 71234, and they will give you a character like a shepherd or a star, and then give you an idea of how you can spread kindness. So that's just a little intro of Light the World. And in 2017, they started the giving machines, which is really amazing. We don't have one in Rapid City. I really wish we did. The closest, I think, is Denver. And but they're like a vending machine, and there's opportunities for you to buy a sheep or some ducks or chickens, and you put your money in, and that picture will fall to the bottom, and you'll be able to buy a sheep or a chicken for a family to help them. So I would turn the time over to Sierra and for her to share her story.
Oh, thank you, Stacy, and thanks for having me on the Survivors site. It's an honor to be with you and to think about the things that you said when you first asked me to do this. It's wonderful to be in your company and to be a fellow server, or at least trying to do our best to do so. The Light the World campaign is where we started. And you said the text number, but you can also go to the website, lighttheworld.org. And that'll take you to ideas, that'll take you to videos that are shared with the click of a button. And there's lots of resources there, just lighttheworld.org. And that's where it is. So we started, I believe, in 2019. This is our 6th year. Or no, I'm sorry. We started in 2018. And every December, we've decided that this is something that our family wants to do, and this is how we're going to focus on the Savior during Christmas time. And it started with a case of water. The challenge that day was to donate a case of bottled water to a cause. And it sounded so easy, so I thought, we can do that. And then we took the next one and the next one and the next one. And then by the time that we knew what was happening, it was Christmas and the campaign was over. And I hadn't sent out any Christmas cards that year. I hadn't gotten to setting up all of my Christmas decorations that I'd wanted to, but I felt like it had been a more meaningful holiday, a more meaningful Christmas. And so the next year, lighttheworld.org put out another calendar with different ideas. And while some of them worked for us, some of them didn't. And so we kind of started adding our own flavor to everything, or to cater it to our family's needs and our schedule and what the kids were interested in doing and what they were motivated to do or not to do. And it was in that second December, it was the 15th actually, that we kind of solidified our commitment to Light the World campaign. It was a cold morning in Rapid City, and it was a Sunday. And every Sunday morning at the time at our Roosevelt Park, you just show up with food and you feed whoever needs a meal or wants a meal. And it's for anybody who's hungry or homeless or just needs some company. And it was early. I think it was maybe 8 in the morning on a Sunday. And again, it was cold. But I remember somebody had brought a stack of towels and some clothes, but also a tent. And I remember we had given out all of the food that we had brought, but we kind of hung around a little bit because the feeling there was so good. And somebody announced, well, hey, does anybody need a tent? And my kids got to see somebody, an adult, raise their hand and say, yes, I need a tent. And I have lived in the third world for several months at a time. And I couldn't give them that same experience by just telling my stories and my experience. They could see that in their own backyard there was need, and that there were people that had less than they did, and that we needed to reach out. And so that moment kind of, and our conversations on the way home were extraordinary. And so since then, I haven't sent out any Christmas cards. I haven't gotten out every single Christmas decoration, but we've made Light the World a priority. And it has changed our Christmases in tangible ways and in intangible ways. And our kids are young. I have a 12-year-old, 11-year-old, and a 6-year-old, and they are growing and developing anyway. So sometimes I don't know whether it's the things that we're doing or if they're just gaining more experience, but we've never regretted doing the things that we do, spending the amount of time and effort that it takes, spending some of the money that it sometimes takes. And it's been part of our holiday traditions ever since. And so also, before I forget too, I've written up some notes about just over the years, like the things that we've done, what worked, what didn't work. And I have that as a Google Doc if anybody wants it or needs it. So
Yeah,
the ideas are all written up too. So
well,
yeah.
I love that story so much because it's really what the kids feel, right? Like for all of us, it's what we feel. And just you telling that story just gave me the goosebumps. I know that your kids will never forget that. And they'll probably forget what they got that year for Christmas, but they'll always remember that experience and all these experiences that you're helping them have and the true meaning of Christmas. I love that so much.
Yes, I hope so. I think, I mean, they're still very much in the, oh, hey, what do you want? And what's in the under the tree and everything like that. But it's also become about, hey, have we done our Light the World today? And what are we doing today? And as Thanksgiving comes and goes and December approaches, they're starting to say things like, well, can we do this again? Or can we not do that again? And can we do this for Light the World? Or what are we going to bake? They definitely have favorites, and there's definitely things that work better than others. So I hope so. I hope that it's become more about looking outward than looking inward during the holidays. So I've tried to keep up on our social media. Some things are just not fit for social media, so we still post and say we did it, check. but we're not going to post pictures. We're not going to say anything about the details of what we did. So
That's what I've enjoyed watching your posts. They inspire me. And I think even if say someone isn't, maybe they can't go do something big or whatever, but
yeah,
changed and your light changed them, by seeing what you're doing, like it brings warmth to my heart and it makes me smile.
oh,
But
that's so nice, Stacy.
I
Some of these things, you're right though. Sometimes it can be a big thing, but sometimes it can be really small. Really small. I remember in that first year, especially, it was snowing and I sent the boys out to shovel somebody's walk. And that's things that people do anyway. I see other people serving each other in that way anyway. And there's things that can be piggybacked upon. Like in Rapid City, South Dakota, we have statues of our presidents downtown. And everybody during this season, if they have hats or scarves or boots or gloves that they can donate, we decorate the presidents with them, and then anybody in the community can come up and take it. And that's something that's ongoing, that's easy to just kind of slide into. Toys for Tots is always running. One year there was a mayor's challenge, and in fact it was 2020, it was during the pandemic, that the mission in our city, their budget was cut by $70,000. And the mayor extended a challenge to all Rapid City residents to pay $1.27 each, and they could make up for that budget cut. And so that was easy to just say, oh, okay, well, we can do that. We can put $1.27 in an envelope each and then take it down to the mission. And so that, I mean, the things, if you're looking for them, they can plan themselves, the tasks.
For sure. That's wonderful.
Yeah. Like it. Cards, Christmas cards can be helping to light the world. If you're doing a stack, you can send an extra one to a soldier or your local doctor or dentist even. That's something I hadn't thought of before, but my friend Chris Frederick at one point mentioned that sometimes they like to be thanked too.
Yeah.
And so in addition to the teachers and maybe some grandmas of ours that aren't online just to see what we're up to, we'll send Christmas cards to them, but we'll also remember our pediatrician and our dentist. And that's been fun too, to stop in when they're not scheduled to go in. Yeah. And they see us and you chose to come in.
Yeah. Wonderful.
Yeah. But I think some of the most meaningful ones, besides the ones that my kids can have those type of experiences with perspective about how blessed they really are the ones that we do in honor of other people. And I know that you guys especially do a lot in honor of your Lily. And I know that adds so like a whole other layer of meaning to what you're doing. And we've done hospice house where my granny passed away a few years ago. And some of our friends have passed away there too. And so every year we want to make sure that we honor them by putting change on the vending machines for those that are visiting there. We can't take away their grief, but we can buy them a drink in honor of my granny. Yeah, and we do dog bones for our dogs that have passed away at the dog park. And we had a friend also pass away several years, Morgan Emery. And his family utilized the Ronald McDonald House in Minneapolis, and pop tabs are their big fundraiser. So all year we collect the pop tabs and either send them with a friend or just mail them in a box to the Ronald McDonald House down there. That's been fun too.
So where have you found, like you said, like in your own community, there is lots of opportunities. Did you just go online, Google service opportunities in your community? Is that how you?
Yeah. And it's our 6th year. So as people notice what we're doing, they give us more ideas. And that's another reason that we post is so many of these ideas aren't our own. Yeah. And so I feel duty bound to share them on, not keep up to ourselves. And that's been a blessing too, for sure. I think I found out from the Mayor's Challenge by accident. Just kind of stumbled across it, but I'm lucky enough to belong to a church where there's actual people assigned to look for service opportunities. And my friend Brittany and my friend Amy have both been in that position where they send out opportunities every so often, sometimes weekly, and say, this is the need, this is a need. And if it's not something my kids can participate in, then we try to find something off to the side that we can do. Like, we can't lift boxes, but we can bring bottled water to those who are, or we can trade kids with other couples and go and do these kinds of things, so that one way or another our kids can see us serving. But when we first started out, and I started not being able to follow the calendars that LightTheWorld.org was putting out, I Googled, I Pinterested, random acts of kindness, and things just kind of grew from there. And the document that I mentioned before is now has 50 different activities on it.
Yes, I saw that. Yeah. So you go to that website that you said, lighttheworld.org.
Yes. Yeah. And they have 50 ideas too. Yeah. So, and that's a great resource as well. And some of them are just things that we want to do anyway. Like, my kids love having friends over and they love pizza. And so why not have our friends over, and we'll send our parents out on a date, and then we'll have pizza together and watch a movie. And yes. And it's a lot of fun. And that's definitely, when we start the season, I go through some of our previous activities, and that one always gets the highest score of what they want to do.
So yes. Kind of like incorporating service, looking for ways, like, we're already doing a movie night. How can we bring someone in to serve them? Because we're already doing this fun thing, right? Kind of making and being creative. I love how you said our kids can't lift these big boxes, but they can bring those who can water. That's just kind of thinking creatively. And See,
Yeah, and
sorry, your picture is turned and you're blurry for some reason. There we go.
okay, is this better? Okay, yeah. Well, if I understand what you're asking, I think that once you look for opportunities to serve, they'll present themselves in a lot of ways. And if not, or if you're still struggling, or if you are looking for a way in, there's always somebody in charge or somebody involved that, you could ask and just say, hey, how can I be helpful? How can my 6-year-old be helpful in this project? Can we can we bring a treat? Can we can we sing songs while you do whatever it is you need to do? And that's always been a lot of fun too, is finding those ways in that aren't listed anywhere on a website or that aren't sent out in an email. Yeah. So like I said, I think when you are in the mindset and make it a matter of prayer also, that if you want to serve, then you'll have the opportunity to serve.
Yeah,
it'll find right, exactly. Exactly. So I think that while it's been such a blessing, I mean, it's also been so much learning as well. The more that we do in our community, the more need that we see, and the more opportunities that we have. But I should mention too that oftentimes we don't do this alone. We've taken friends a couple of times along with us, but we've had people anonymously donate money to our cause. We've also had, yeah, it's been awesome. 3 different people have done that. As far as I can tell, there's been 3 different people to do that. There's been food left over from church parties that people have donated and said, hey, take this to what you're doing with the hungry. And our friend down at the Celtic Connect at our connection, I think, downtown in Rapid City, makes us hats all year round so that we can give them out during December.
Oh, so you're like 2 now. So neat.
She's super supportive, and it started just by us going in there, and she gave us each a hat, and she said, for every hat I sell, I donate one. We said, that's fantastic. And so then she emailed or texted, I think, a few weeks later and said, hey, I'm making some for you to give out next year. And it was like February.
Oh, wow.
We thought, okay, we're gonna find some projects where we can give out hats. And one of them could be the president statues. We took some to the Hungry Feed last week, and we took them to a church activity where children were gathered, and we said, if you know of anybody that needs a hat, come grab a hat from this bag and take it to them. We've also had our friends JR and Pat Rasmussen. They saved up their pop tabs one year from everybody that they knew, and there were boxes, like cardboard boxes, thousands and thousands of pop tabs. It was great. I have video somewhere of my children like making it rain with the pop tabs, and that one we had to send to Denver with a friend in their truck. We couldn't send through the mail all those. That is
so neat.
So we really have a good support system for what we're doing, which has been awesome. It's really become more of a team effort as years go by, which I just love.
That is so neat. So some people feel like, oh, I can't post how I'm serving because that seems like, oh, look at me. But you address that in one of your Facebook posts. Do you want to tell us about that? Because I think,
yeah,
go ahead.
Sure. Yeah. And I should also say that we haven't received like direct criticism. We haven't been treated badly or anything, but it's been subtle. There's people that have concerns about doing things anonymously. And my answer to that is, well, again, these ideas aren't all mine. And so I've gotten a lot of them from online, so I'll pass them on. Also, it keeps me accountable by posting every day. It would be really easy on a busy day like today to just say, it's okay. We can skip a day because we did this, and this, and it's okay. But knowing that even if my mom is the only one that's going to see it every single day, I need to post every single day. And that's a super big motivator, as well as some of those days where we just either don't feel like it or the weather's bad or whatever is going on, some of those comments of people cheering us on make all the difference, all the difference. And also, this December, December's are special in that we make a deliberate daily effort. But again, when you look for opportunities to serve, you'll find them. And so when we do things, we do some of them throughout the year and don't post.
That's, and I feel like there is that mixed emotion, but I like this is such a testament that you sharing has brought so many people into this. And now it's this huge community thing. Like that's amazing. And I think that's the power of sharing. You're not, saying, oh, look at me kind of thing, but it is because you're going to help make someone's day by just seeing your post. Like it warms my heart and it brings a smile. It really does. And I know that you're doing that for many other people and inspiring them to do the same for sure.
Oh, well, thank you for saying that. That helps too. Most days about to post, it still kind of crosses my mind, like, is this the right thing? And I'll think about back through those reasons and think, okay, I can serve a lot more, and in other ways and not post about it. And if this gives somebody an idea or a touch of the Christmas spirit, then I'll take the hit. Okay. Yeah. Well, okay. Post. So thank you for saying that.
I think it's awesome. So have you grown up with like in a service minded family? Is that what like, okay, I'm going to be part of this? I think as a human nature, we do want to serve, but to the level that you did it at,
Yeah. Yeah. No, I distinctly remember dropping things off anonymously to people. I remember my mom baking for other people. I remember my parents trying to make Christmas about more than the presents, especially during the years where there weren't a lot of presents under the tree. I think that's definitely affected how I want my children to spend their Christmases, by how I saw my parents serving others and involving us in that service. Yes. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's neat. And some days it's so busy, like especially in the Christmas season. It's like, how can I do one more thing, even if it's a little thing, right?
Yeah.
But just having that accountability on posting publicly, that's awesome.
Yeah. And in fact, I should say this too. There's I don't have the website in front of me, but I think you can Google cheer cards, Denver Children's Hospital, and you can make a card in less than a minute for a child in the Denver hospital, in the children's hospital. And they'll print it up and they'll deliver it themselves. You just have to type in a little wish and click, and that's it.
So cheer cards, that's what you said? That's what they're called?
Yes, cheer cards. And I'm sorry, like I said, I don't have the website in front of me, but it's in the Google Doc that I've brought up. But I think if you Google cheer cards, Denver Children's Hospital, you should find it pretty easily.
Oh, that would be sweet. Awesome. So what lasting effects have you seen in your children's lives, in yours, your husband's, your family in general?
Okay. Well, again, I know that my children are growing and developing anyway. And so it's hard to pick apart what exactly has influenced what. But I did have a good conversation this year with my son, who has done all this stuff with us. And then just this year kind of had a breakthrough about what it means, which was a huge deal. We had been coming back from feeding the people that may be hungry, and he served some people his own age and younger. And he had told me on the way home, he said, I can't imagine asking somebody my age for food like that. And I said, well, technically they didn't ask you, you just offered, which is wonderful. I I had to correct first. I don't know why I have to do that, but we got to talking about how he was able to have that experience and to put himself in those children's shoes, because it's less than a couple of miles from our house. and these are his peers. And so that, I think he has internalized a lot more this year. When I would do Christmas cards, I loved doing it, but it would take a really long time because I wanted to I wanted to handwrite every message, and it took a lot of hours squirreled away by myself, and stress to get it out before a certain time. Stress with the post office because sometimes I used clear envelopes, sometimes they were bulky. I have been way more involved in our Christmases without doing so much that just, I mean, it doesn't matter as much. So I've been able to feel a lot more present in the holidays because because I've let a couple of things like that go.
Yeah.
In favor of doing this and putting energy toward this. I think that I hope, because it's hard to compare with, years that we're not doing it because we are, but I'm hoping that the gimmies and the I wants are less because of this. I really hope that it's had that effect on them, that they, and myself included, will focus less on the superficial things or the things that just don't last as long as the lesson and the service do. And my 6-year-old has never gone a Christmas without doing it. So we started when she was 2 months old.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yes. So we're gonna kind of
no any other way. You can't stop now.
Right, exactly. So with my older two, their memories are probably pretty fuzzy, but maybe we can compare the two later on and see. I don't know, a lifetime versus 5 or 6 years as a child, just kind of doing what we can, but not putting forth a deliberate effort.
Was there anything else you'd like to share? Any stories or?
Maybe, well, and we probably shouldn't end on this, but a couple of cautions, maybe. If we deliver treats, we don't deliver them to people we don't know.
Yes.
If we've baked it ourselves.
Yeah.
We can't. We've had a neighbor come and give them back to us after we have taken them to saying, "I don't know you. I'm sure you're trying to do something nice, but we don't know you, and we're not going to eat this." So just anyway. So we if we do neighbor gifts, we make sure that we're solid friends first. Yeah. And we also tried to go to, this is so funny to me. We went to a nursing home, an elderly home, with children's books, and we said, okay, just go find somebody on a chair and just read to them. That would be really awesome. And I don't know if it was the hour that we went or the people that were there, but no one was really interested. And a couple of them were waiting to be picked up because it was the lobby, but a couple of them were just kind of flirting with each other and didn't really want to read with us. And so that was when I learned that we need to contact people that are in charge first and say, what could we possibly do that would be helpful and not a waste of everybody's time.
Yes, I agree. You think you might have a good idea, but it's not really easy. Yeah.
The execution didn't quite go as we thought. So, and also during holiday travel, we try to give out treats to the airline employees and the airport employees. And TSA can't accept anything. We learned that. If they receive anything from us, they have to give it to their supervisor, who will likely throw it away. So don't spoil TSA, but it's and you also can't give anything to your fellow passengers that's like a package or an object if it's beyond a piece of paper and a wrapped piece of candy. It's risky because of everybody's baggage and giving people packages, taking things from strangers. So we've learned that at airports we kind of have to watch who it is and what it is.
Maybe a compliment and a smile, right?
That might right. Exactly. so yes, but those are just our cautions or the things that maybe we've learned.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that, because that is good to think about too. Right. What is one of your favorite services that you've done that just
That's a good question, because there's my favorites, and then there's our children's favorites. But we love doing Danish pastries because they're delicious, and the recipe makes 4 loaves, and we always keep one for us. But I think that everybody really likes doing the things where we're interacting with people.
Yeah.
If we leave change on the laundromat or on a parking meter or on a vending machine, it's great, but we don't interact and we don't see the effects. And I think that my children enjoy the most when we're face to face, and when we can say, how can we help you? Or, hey, let's go watch a movie and have pizza and no parents allowed. Or when we're able to go into those communities that aren't our neighborhood, and be able to interact with those people. I think that those are my favorite. And I think the kids, they'll say other things, but the ones that I see them responding to the most is the face-to-face ones. So the more that we can get out into the community, especially because weather's so unpredictable in our community in December, that the better. The more we can get out, and the more that we can see the need for ourselves. So that's
awesome. That's probably one of my favorite things too, is just the face to face. It's fun to be secretive, that's always fun, but yeah, to just meet these people and share a smile and a little chat is just wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for being here tonight. And you are truly inspiring. A Google Doc. Now that's amazing. That is so cool. And just I didn't realize the scope that more and more people know that you do this, and that they're doing stuff on their own and donating it to you, and anonymous people donating money so that you can that's amazing. So thank you for your example and for sharing, because I know it's hard to share sometimes in a Facebook or whatever, but yeah, definitely you are a light in my life, you and your family. So thank you. And I know that you've made a difference in a lot of people's lives.
So thank you, Stacy. And likewise, thank you for all that you're doing, including this website and the effort that you guys go to help others. So thank you. You're an inspiration to me.
Oh, well, thank you. Well, just want to thank everyone for being here, and a very Merry Christmas.
Yes.